And, you know, talking about the struggle and everything, when you guys started out, I mean, it's been almost, what, has it been 20 years, pretty much?
20 years. We signed our first deal in 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly 20 years. Congratulations, by the way. That's incredible.
Thank you.
I mean, to be able to reinvent yourself and keep going this long, especially in this kind of genre of music, you know what I mean?
Man, thank you.
So when you guys started out, was it just like, we're going to have fun and do this, or are we doing it for a group of people that don't have a voice right now?
It's both.
Yeah.
You know, we still have fun making music and touring and playing for people and stuff. But at the same time, you know, there's not a lot of substance out there within music. You know, it's lacking. So we wanted to make a record that was not only entertaining but had some substance. And that's been, you know, our thing since day one.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't want to just talk about crap, you know what I mean? There's plenty of that out there to listen to.
Yeah.
We wanted something that was going to affect people in some way or another, you know?
Okay, in those 20 years, what could you say in your music has stayed the same and what has changed?
I think our work ethic has stayed the same. You know, the way we work in the studio, when we get in there, we get the job done, basically. What's changed is the fact that we've grown, matured, experienced a lot of things in this career that's helped us grow as far as our creative, you know, the creative side of it, as well as our skill set. You know, the more you do it, the more you perform, the more you write and record, the better you get at it. So those things are helping us get to the next level. So each time you make a record, you know, you're progressing. Unless you're not listening to everything else out there, that's the only way you're not, because you have to know what's out there to be able to do what you do effectively and still compete. You know, so it's those things, I think.
Okay, cool, man. And with the years that have gone by musically, what do you guys think has stand out the most in your career, like individually?
I think one thing that stands out big time for us is when we first decided to go ahead and do some rock music. You know, and the whole rock superstar trip we were on, you know, that stood out and actually, you know, I think gave us, you know, a longer life there, you know. And I was so glad that we did it because I've been wanting to do it for a long time. I'm a big fan of rock and roll.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you can tell you're the more of the rock side of it, right? And be real, you're more of the hip-hop side of it, I'm guessing.
I straddle both, but yeah, I tend to lean more towards the hip-hop side.
Yeah. So I think that when we did that rock superstar thing, it freaked everybody out, and it showed how versatile we were, and that we were risk takers, and we're not scared to, you know, walk that fine line. And I think that's why we're still here 20 years later, because people respect that, you know.
Definitely. Now, what do you think stood out the most over the years for you?
Stood out the most. I would say, I mean, that's a hard one because we've had like a lot of cool moments where we were able to shine and stand out. Like, there's a number of them. There's the Woodstock thing.
Yeah.
You know, that was a pretty big show. That was our biggest in the United States to this date. That was a big look for us, and you know, it was a huge moment. The other thing was Saturday Night Live, being on that, growing up watching Saturday Night Live and seeing all your favorite comics and artists, you know, and you know, every aspect of entertainer go through that show. You know you made it when you hit that show.
Yeah.
The Simpsons, that's the other thing. But I think what was the most impactful was when we did Lollapalooza, when we were on the small stage, because, you know, when we were doing the small stage, it was like, you know, all these big groups like Soundgarden and Ice Cube and
Chili Peppers,
Ministry, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Ministry, a slew of really dope artists on the main stage. We were on the small stage. We were like, how are we going to get anybody over here to listen to what we're doing when all those badass groups are over there? And somehow it happened. Once we started playing the first song, a lot of those people would swarm over to that small stage to see what we were doing, because we were wilding out like punk rockers and metalers, but with hip-hop music, you know what I mean? And people dug it, and I think that's probably what stood out to a lot of people and brought that whole alternative, you know, skateboarding, BMX scene, you know, metal kid, punk rock kid base to us, you know, was those particular shows. So
you're getting out there and actually like